Buenas, buenas, buenas y bienvenidos a otra reacción. En este caso tenemos una reacción de Alex Bale, la The Cars Conspiracy, ¿no? La conspiración de Cars, ¿no? La película. A mí me gusta mucho que es Alex Bale, entonces ya que sacó esta nueva teoría, ¿no? Quiero verla. Obviamente está en inglés, pues los subtítulos traducidos automáticamente para el español para ver si a lo mejor para que el que quiera ver esto y no entienda mucho, pues al menos se guía un poquito con lo que son los subtítulos, ¿no? Pero bueno, vamos a ver
You
qué tal.
really expect me to believe that?
Well, you should. You was there too.
Ok.
So, Cars is a weird franchise. The world in the Cars movies is like ours, except for the small detail that
Que todos son
everything is
carros.
cars instead of humans.
Muy buena película, por cierto. Muy, bueno,
Which
muy...
is a very
Me
weird
gustaron
premise for a
todas,
movie franchise, and it only gets weirder the more you think
la
about
verdad.
it. I mean, first off, we can clearly see that throughout all the history of this world, everything has always been cars, even all the way back to dinosaur cars.
I don't know much about these
ver.
dino things.
I know the logo for DinoCo kind of looks like a real dinosaur for some reason, but other than that one contradiction, it's just straight up car dinosaurs. It's always been cars.
What
Va.
happened to the dinosaurs now?
And I know people like to say, oh, maybe the cars are just recreating human history. But even if that's somehow true, the human theories still don't make sense because in the Cars world, everything is cars. And when I say everything, I mean everything.
Hay que se... Los carros, los pájaros, hasta las flores. Va.
And I think there
Todos
are
son
two
vehículos.
possible explanations as to why. You can either take a carvolutionist perspective and assume this is a universe where the car shape just happens to be the most efficient shape for survival and entropy, kind of like how we can see the golden ratio spiral everywhere in our world,
Va,
or like how
sí.
different animals can independently evolve into crabs because the crab shape is just so badass. Or we can take a carrationism perspective and assume there is an
Un
all-powerful
dios.
car
Un
god
dios
out there
carro.
that has
Va.
shaped and renamed the world into his image. We
Interesante.
do know there is religion in this world, and there has been
Eh.
mentions of a manufacturer in place of the word God.
Thank the manufacturer, you're alive!
Ah, pero no me acuerdo, hace mucho que no veo la película, ¿no? Pero, o sea, básicamente la misma cosa, ¿no? Y en vez de decir tengo, no, sería Ten Manufacturer, ¿no?
Manufacturer in
Gracias
place of the word
al
God.
el fabricante.
Manufacturer, you're alive!
So, you know, maybe Car God did it. So that is my Alex Bale take on all of these Cars theories.
Siempre hace la misma cosa, siempre le encanta decir, no, y esto es todo, realmente nada. Y obviamente vemos que, pues, hay 17 minutos, no, bueno, 15 minutos, básicamente.
I am sorry if that's not as fun or dark and edgy as a
Vamos,
post-apocalyptic
dímelo,
human theory, but I
dímelo.
think it's undeniably what the actual movies themselves support.
A mí me
Now
gusta
that
mucho Alex
basically
Bale porque
covers
es...
all the stuff that everyone loves
convence
talking
bastante
about
a uno,
with the
¿no?
Cars movies. But the real reason I'm making this video is because there's still something that most Cars theories never talk about. Something that most theorists just pretend doesn't exist because it makes the weird and convoluted Cars franchise look tame in comparison. Yes, that is correct. This is no
¿Qué?
longer a Cars theory video. This is a theory about Mater's tall tales.
Ah, las historias
I'm
de...
lying, I'm crying.
So, Cars is a weird franchise, but the weirdness is kind of contained to the fact that they are sentient cars. Other than that, they're just kind of normal people doing normal
sí.
things. Except for when it comes to Mater.
My name's Mater.
Mater?
Yeah, like Mater, but without the tuh.
Mater is Lightning McQueen's best friend, and he's kind of a dumb, lovable tow truck who was born in Radiator
Sí.
Springs. Or I
Mate,
guess
no.
maybe in a mansion. They kind of retconned it in the new Disney Plus show. And he's just a pretty normal, simple guy,
He won 3 piston cups!
He did what in his cup?
except for the fact that he keeps accidentally ending up in weird, impossible situations. Like how in Cars 2, he accidentally became an international
claro.
spy for the entire movie.
Agent. You mean like...
O sea, supongo que lo que se va a referir bastante es que técnicamente las historias ridículas que a veces se inventa Mate, a lo mejor no es tan ridículo, ¿no? Es supongo como va el camino, ¿no? La
Accidentally
teoría.
became an international spy for the entire movie.
Agent? You mean like insurance agent? Like a good neighbor, Mater is there.
And then got knighted by the Queen.
Sarto Mater.
And if you thought Cars 2 was a weird departure for the Cars franchise, well then prepare yourself for the insanity that is Mater's Tall Tales.
I used to be a fire
Ah,
truck.
supongo que es como una miniserie o algo así, ¿no? Creo que sí, ¿no? Puede ser.
Daggum right.
These were a series of shorts that featured Mater telling
Son
Lightning
shorts,
McQueen
vale.
different convoluted stories from his life, like the time he became a fire truck, or a wrestler, or an astronaut, or when he met aliens, or literally time traveled.
Later, Mater. Later, Mater.
And obviously, you'd assume that these are all just made-up stories because they're called tall tales, but at the end of every episode, they're always proven to be true.
That did not happen. Houston has another problem. Roger. That did not happen. Mater, there's no such thing as time travel.
Oh, by the way, I never did get a chance to thank you for introducing me and Stanley.
And that's how you make history.
Okay, but maybe these are just weird, non-canon shorts. They aren't necessarily
pueden ser no
connected to the
canon,
main
¿no?
Cars movies that we care about, right?
Sí.
Well, in Cars 3, we can see a poster that proves that Monster Truck Mater did actually happen. The creators had a chance to distance themselves from Mater's Tall Tales and instead decided to double down and make them officially canon. But the most confusing thing that happens in all of these shorts is halfway through every episode when Lightning McQueen questions the stories.
Jumping Carburetor Canyon? No way.
Yes, well, you remember. You was there too.
What?
Ready, buddy?
You really expect me to believe that?
Well, you should. You was there too.
Mater reveals that Lightning was also in all of these stories, despite him having no memory of being there.
Well, don't you
Ok,
remember? You was
curioso,
there too.
curioso.
What?
But remember, we
Porque uno obviamente lo toma como broma, ¿no? Es una teoría, ¿no? Tal vez no es planeada por los autores. Pero me encanta por eso Alex Bale, ¿no? Que lo hace como tan consistente y que ese poste que estaba al fondo, que nadie lo ve, pues él lo vio y hace la cosa, ¿no?
Well, don't you remember? You was there too.
Lo saca
But
como una
remember,
parte de
we
la
know
teoría.
these stories are true, so
Toma como
why
evidencia.
doesn't McQueen remember? Well, there is a funny
Sí, ¿por
theory
qué?
that
¿Por qué?
Lightning
Porque-
McQueen might have dementia from all of his many accidents.
Tiene sentido. Pero necesitaríamos pruebas, ¿no? No pruebas del accidente, sino pruebas de que...
And that does feel like the easiest explanation, but there's one small detail that contradicts it. In
¿Qué será?
Moon Mater, Mater becomes an astronaut and goes to the moon.
I have a problem. He needs a tow.
Where on earth are we gonna get a tow?
Well, that guy's got a tow.
And later, we of course reveal that Lightning McQueen was there too.
No way.
Yes, way. But that was nuts compared to you.
But there's a very strange detail at the start of this episode that doesn't quite make sense.
Dímelo,
Before
dímelo.
Mater gets his astronaut suit, why is he blue? Now, this isn't the first time we've seen Blue Mater. In
Sí, o sea, me suena haber visto otra vez en azul, ¿no?
Cars 1, there was a brief flashback that showed Radiator Springs in its prime, and we could see that back then, Mater was a clean blue tow truck.
Va.
Long ago.
Ok, sí.
So, this Moon Mater story must have taken place around that time. But this
Claro. Pero entonces, ¿cómo estuvo en la historia McQueen si todavía no se habían conocido?
doesn't make sense because Lightning McQueen only met Mater after he was covered in
Efectivamente.
years worth of dirt and old dents.
Morning, Sleeping Beauty. Boy, I was wondering when you was gonna wake up.
He never knew Mater when he was blue, so how could he have possibly been in this story? So even if Lightning forgot, the timeline still doesn't make sense.
Está
And
raro,
it's not
está
like they
raro.
even needed to make Mater blue in this short. The creators put in extra effort here just to make their story make less sense, but why? And it's not even just Lightning that doesn't remember this. In Cars 1, Mater says this about a road Lightning made.
It's like it was paved by angels.
Oh, I tell you what, I bet even the roads on the moon ain't this smooth.
I bet even the roads on the moon ain't this smooth. But wait, at this point, hasn't Mater already been
Sí, sí,
to the
sí. Ya él tendría que saber, ¿no?
this smooth? But wait, at this point, hasn't Mater already
okay,
been to the
okay.
moon? Isn't I bet kind of a weird thing to say if Mater should know for a fact whether or not the moon is this smooth? It seems like even Mater himself had no memory of this story. A story that is proven to be true at the end of the episode.
That did not happen.
Vader! Houston has another problem. Roger.
So, how does any of this make sense? It's almost like these stories only become true after Mater tells them, which kind of implies that
Algún problema de realidad, efectivamente, no. Reality warping. O sea, me acuerdo, a lo mejor podría ser algo como en Jujutsu Kaisen, ¿no? Está eso de Takada, ¿no? Que si algo, más o menos la realidad se acomoda a lo que él ve divertido, ¿no? Entonces, más o menos me acuerdo un poquito a esto, ¿no? Cuando él va contando la historia, se va volviendo realidad.
tells them.
¿Pero por qué? ¿Qué
Kind
es
of
mate, no?
implies that
Porque estamos hablando de... puede tener potencial.
Listen, I know this idea sounds really stupid and crazy, but if we look back through the entire Cars franchise with this in mind, suddenly, a lot of the weird inconsistencies in this dumb franchise start to make a lot more sense. Let's start with something small like
sea,
Mater's
sí,
birthplace
pero,
changing. Originally,
O sea, tiene sentido, ¿no? Pero el punto es por qué tiene esos poderes, ¿ok? O sea, como que simplemente diga que los tiene y ya... como que siento que falta algo.
more sense. Let's start with something small like Mater's birthplace changing. Originally, we were shown that he was born in Radiator Springs,
You've never
Sí.
been outside Radiator Springs, have you?
Nope.
but in the new Disney Plus show, Cars on the Road, we are told that he was instead born in a rich family and grew up in a mansion on the east side of America.
You grew up here? Yep.
But
Muy
let's
raro
go
que
back and
cambian
take
eso,
a look
¿no?
at the first time everyone in Radiator Springs learned about this.
Vader is a complicated guy.
Mamma mia, Mater has a sister?
Boggles the mind, man.
No, non ci posso credere.
Mater clearly just told them the story about his family and where he grew up, a story that nobody knew about before,
Wait a minute. You have a sister?
but now is suddenly proven true,
You grew up here?
Yep.
just like Mater's tall tales. I think this continuity error was caused by Mater's reality warping powers.
Vale.
In the first Cars movie, we can see a photo of Conehenge, which is the Cars World's version of Stonehenge. But later, in Cars on the Road, we see it's now been changed to Carhenge.
The sign said, don't touch!
So, why is this structure so inconsistent? Well, why did McQueen and Mater go to Carhenge in the first place?
Look, you picked the last 3 stops. Carhenge.
Anyway.
Because it was Mater's idea.
You picked the last 3 stops.
He probably previously told Lightning about Carhenge, which caused it to change. Okay, but these are just little inconsistencies.
Sí.
What about
A ver,
something
pequeñas no, pero necesitamos como una prueba más que sea más de realidad, o sea, que realmente cambie la realidad, que simplemente decir que los autores son inconsistentes, ¿no?
to
Necesitamos
change? Okay,
una
but
prueba
these are
más-
just
más
little
fuerte.
inconsistencies. What about something big? How about the fact that the Cars franchise, a pretty simple series about cars racing each other, suddenly decided to make an entire movie about the funny side character becoming an international spy?
Mater, we've got to get that bomb off you.
Bomb? You.
Sí,
I didn't make that
bastante-
drink, do you?
Death Ray!
Bastante
Doesn't that sound
diferente.
more like the plot of a Mater's Tall Tale?
Sí.
Well, actually, take a look at what happens at the the end of the movie when we cut back to Radiator Springs.
So there we was, guns drawn. We was gone.
Estaba contando su historia. Como siempre.
From the sky to safety.
That's a very entertaining story, young man.
Oh, Minnie, please, come on. None of this happened.
No, you're quite right. It does sound a bit far-fetched.
Es como mostraba anteriormente, ¿no? Que siempre dice, no, esto nunca pasó. Y luego sí pasa. Después de que cuenta la historia.
I'm Mater's girlfriend.
Cars 2 was a Mater's Tall Tale. It follows the exact same formula.
That did not happen.
See you later.
Come on, none of this happened.
I'm Mater's girlfriend.
And it all happened just because Mater spoke it into existence. This theory literally makes the insanity of Cars 2 make more sense.
You mean like insurance ain't? Like a good neighbor, Mater is there.
This dumb State Farm joke also makes so much more sense now because Mater has the exact same powers from those State Farm commercials.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, Dave.
With the sandwich.
Vale.
And the girl from 4E.
And can I get a hot tub? Well, don't you remember? You was there too?
What?
Mater is unironically the most powerful character in all of fiction. He could literally beat anyone in a fight just by uttering the words, "You was there too." And I believe that he has been secretly manipulating the events.
Me recuerda mucho al ¿cómo se llama? Me hace mucha gracia porque me recuerda mucho al de, creo, Enchufe TV, ¿no? El Yo ya estoy, ¿no? Me recuerda bastante a ese tipo de realidad, cambio de realidad cómico, ¿no?
Of this entire franchise for his own benefit. Now, I don't really have any strong evidence to prove this, but to me, the start of the first Cars movie also kind of feels like another Tall Tale.
Where am I?
Morning, Sleeping Beauty. Boy, I was wondering when you was gonna wake up.
Take whatever you want. Just don't hurt me.
A famous race car just happens to accidentally get stuck in the same town as Mater, and they become best friends for life, and he decides to never leave because Mater is just so cool.
My best friend, what are you gonna do?
That just kind of sounds like something Mater would make up to manifest a cool, famous best friend.
I knowed I made a good choice.
In what?
My best friend.
Now, how did Mater obtain this god power? I honestly do not know. And believe me, I have looked everywhere in every piece of Cars.
Usted me está mintiendo. Algo usted sabe, me lo tiene que decir.
Honestly, do not know. And believe me, I have looked everywhere in every piece of Cars media for an explanation. I even read the fucking comic books, but unfortunately, there is nothing. Mater just has this ability to change reality for some unexplained reason, and he is using it to live his best life and go on fun adventures with his best friend.
No suena tan mal, ¿no?
How'd you like to come and see the world with me?
You mean it?
And you know what? Good for him. We can even see in the Cars 2 credits that after the movie, they travel the weird car-shaped world together and visit all the great car wonders of the world. And of course, they climb the iconic weird car-shaped mountains of this weird franchise. And that is my...
Suave. La montaña es un poco rara. Vamos a ver.
Of this weird franchise. And that is my Cars.
Vas a decir la montaña, ¿no?
Thank you very much for watching.
No. No.
Hang on a second. Is this world's Matterhorn shaped like Mater?
Sí.
And yeah, look, it's even been renamed to be spelled like him. Wait a second. There is an all-powerful car god out there that has shaped and renamed the world into his image. Wait, is Mater the reason why everything is cars? Is Mater just straight up God?
Y llega la tercera parte. Puede ser. O sea, es el mayor sentido que hay, ¿no? Porque ¿quién podría tener? No hay ninguna explicación. A menos que sea en este mundo de Cars Dios, ¿no?
Reason why everything is cars? Is Mater just straight up God? So, In the Cars franchise, everything is cars, except there is one contradiction to that shows up repeatedly in almost every piece of Cars media. The logo for Dinoco kind of looks like a real dinosaur for some reason. The Dinoco logo. Dinoco is one of the racing brands that shows up all the time in this franchise, and their logo is a silhouette of a big dinosaur. But it's not the dino cars that we've seen in museums, it's clearly just a regular, non-car shaped dinosaur. It's a weird contradiction to the everything is car rule that pops up all over this franchise. Now, if there is some kind of car god that shaped the world into cars, why would he be so inconsistent with dinosaurs? It's a strange thing to leave out. It's almost like whoever created this world didn't know much about dinosaurs. Huh. Does that remind you of anyone?
I don't know much about these dino things. What happened to the dinosaurs now? I don't know much.
Porque no tiene conocimiento, no lo está modificando.
Well, dadgum, McQueen boy, I tell you what, I sure do like me some cars. Wouldn't it be fun if everything was cars? I don't know about that, Mater. That doesn't really make any sense. Well, shoot, you should know, McQueen. You was there too. What?
Muy bien, me gustó mucho, ¿no? Como digo, es como muy... en teoría, sí tiene su aquel, ¿no? Tiene su aquel, pero no lo suficientemente fuerte para decir planeado por los autores, ¿no? Pero tiene su aquel, él tiene su aquel, ¿no? Las otras teorías que él ha tenido, pues son un poco más fuertes, ¿no? Siento que tiene más evidencia de que... O sea, yo creo que, por ejemplo, comparar las teorías de Bob Esponja, que decía, esas teorías sí eran fuertes, que uno decía, esto no puede estar así, esto tiene que ser planeado sí o sí. Y con esto, pues básicamente es lo que digo, ¿no? Pero muy bien, estuvo bastante bien. Como digo, a mí me encanta mucho esto de teorías, de conspiraciones y tal. Me gusta, me entretiene mucho. Denle like, comenten, suscríbanse, ese tipo de cosas. Y con esto me despido. Chao, chao.